We live. Let me bring you in. What's going on? We going. What's going on with you, big dog?
Are we on right now?
No, we it's us. It's just us. It's just
Okay.
us. It's just us.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
It's just us.
All
Yeah,
right.
baby.
So once that countdown stops, that's when it's gonna pop up. Cause I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it on here.
You're not seeing it on.
Yeah. Yeah. Not seeing not yet, at least. But you already pressed the green button, right?
Yes, it says red for me.
Okay. That.
It's recording for me.
I see that it says live for me too. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So we got 3 minutes. Once it does drop, I will post it on Twitter.
That's fine. That's cool.
Oh wait, no.
It says
there now.
It says there.
It's there now. It wasn't there a second ago.
It say we there, you know what I mean? So quick rundown of the show. We're gonna start off with Smackdown, right? We're going through Smackdown. And then we're gonna go once we go from Smackdown, we're gonna do roll into the week that was, right? Talk about Monday, talk about Brock and Bobby, talk about how crazy that first promo was at the beginning of the night. Riddle and Bro dropped the titles. Riddle and Randy dropped the titles. I gotta talk about that. What else we got from Raw? We got the triple threat banger that was there. You know what I mean? Nikki turned on fucking Rhea. How crazy that first promo was at the beginning of the night. Riddle and Bro dropped the titles. You here, baby? Riddle and Randy dropped the titles.
But why are we
talk about that
already live?
Because we're live here. Because I hit green. Triple threat. So do you want me to?
But then what the fuck? This fucking countdown for it.
It's for us, I guess. I guess the countdown is
for if you have more people on, like just to let people know. Alright, it's for us. Well, why are we already live?
Because we're live here. Because I hit green.
Technical, it's just growing things of the live on the podcast. Let's share this.
I'm sharing it right now.
All right, I was logged into mine.
Share it on Reasonable Wrestling. I'll share it on my personal joint.
I shared it on my personal. I'm gonna go again to log into Reasonable Wrestling and let everybody know we're live. And if you're here with us or you're seeing us, we're gonna cut this shit. Don't worry about it.
Damn, I ain't even tag myself. Or tag us. Yeah, I guess the countdown is for me to hit the green button, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess.
Can you hear me okay? You hear me just fine? Cheaty?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I guess this is the extra exclusive for niggas that's really with us.
Yeah, this is for Patreon, Chevy. Behind the scenes bloopers.
Yeah, if
you're here with us, could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. But you're here with us.
All right, man.
We're about to get with the pro wrestling. Let's go.
We're about to get into the show, guys. The timer went off. You know, I got the IC strap. You know, Himske Nakamura. You know what I'm saying? Himske Sakamura. You know what I mean? Because I keep that sack on me.
Keep that sack on me.
Himske Pakamura. You know.
Pakamura. I like that. Pakamura.
All right, man. We're about to hit the intro and we're going in.
Bet. Let's do this.
In 3, 2.
You have the soundboard?
Don't. Hold on. Yo, that's for Patreon. Yo, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Reasonable Wrestling. It's I, the Most High, my tag team partner, CT, aka Chitty Bang. What's happening with you?
What's up, everybody? What's good? And we are here to talk the week that wasn't wrestling. We are the Underground of Fresh Wrestling Podcast. I am the most, he's just the Most High. I'm Chitty Bang. Now, check us out on W Podcast One on Twitter. Check us out on Reasonable Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. We've been dropping some straight fire on there lately. And on Twitter, on Instagram, and I'm already fucking up. On Instagram and Facebook, Reasonable Wrestling Podcast. You know, I should know by now how to intro the show, but every now and then, just like you feel like you're under the spot. It's that fucking countdown. No, but let's get right into it. So we start with Smackdown.
If you want, we can definitely start with Smackdown because last week when we did our show, as you know, we're recording here on Thursday, so we don't talk about SmackDown as it's the week that was. We do pretty much a preview with our show. You know what I mean? So last week when we recorded, we kind of wanted to see how Brock was going to come to SmackDown and react to fucking Roman and all that extra shit. You know what I mean? So
I'll say this. I appreciate that Brock is here still, and he's a champion. Brock is still here, you know, like he sometimes was a champion, he'd be gone. So it looks like on the road to WrestleMania, he is actually going to be working, and I'm here for it. So, but not only is he working, but he's working double duty. He's on SmackDown and he's on Raw, you know. So I want to just take a second to appreciate the Beast being around and not taking the title and just going off into the woods somewhere.
Because we know he can do that.
Yeah, he has the cachet to fucking do whatever the fuck you want. He is Brock Lesnar. So I just want to say that real quick. Now the show started with Roman coming out and talking about, you know, how you know he battled COVID and he came back, and you know people were talking a lot of shit. He's been gone, and then Brock came out. He's like, I don't want to see Brock. I don't want to see Paul Heyman ever again. And immediately on cue, you know, the Brock Lesnar's, you know, theme music hits. He's out there with Paul Heyman. Now, what I thought was odd is that Brock Lesnar introed himself instead of Paul Heyman doing it. So Brock Lesnar has been having a lot of fun. I'll tell you that. Brock Lesnar looks like he's having a lot of fun being back, and I like that. I like seeing Brock have fun on the mic and whatnot. So that's cool. But then they got into this little spat, and this angle took a turn for me. And they started to kind of treat Paul Heyman as if he's like the side chick, you know, like he is the chick that y'all are fighting over, you know.
Well, essentially,
Roman was like, "Don't talk to him like that." Brock is like, "Shut up," you know. So we still are in this weird place where we don't know where Paul Heyman truly is aligned. He kind of is aligned with Brock, but he kind of still loves Roman Reigns. So I don't know where they're going with it. It was just weird to me. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just like a odd awkwardness to me. But go ahead.
No, I was going to say my thing with that though, to you is it was you know, odd. It was odd to me, but it wasn't necessarily. I didn't understand it. I didn't want to. I don't want the feud to be over Paul, bro. Like,
not anymore. I think that after he just punched Paul in the face, he made his feelings known. All right, you're done. You're out of here. You're fired. It should just be Brock versus Roman, title versus title, champion versus champion. Who's the best champion in WWE right now? You know, and hopefully they'll take a pivot with this, and we'll see where it goes. What I want to see is, if we're doing anything with Paul Heyman has to cost the other person the championship or cost them something, you know, a match or something, you know, and really firmly take a stance somewhere, you know, on the line of whether he's going to be with the tribal chief or with the Beast. And we'll see it play out. Obviously, they're building to that. But SmackDown didn't get me, like when Brock saying he's going to be there on Raw when he was champion. SmackDown didn't give me that energy of like, oh man, this was worth it when I came to see it. For that interaction, I was like, okay, that was okay. It was just a decent interaction between them. But what I was more intrigued with on SmackDown was at the end of the night. What the hell is that?
Wow.
Yo, that hurt my ears, yo. Oh, I don't know what the hell that was. Listen,
cutting metal, nigga. Metal. These niggas is cutting metal, nigga. Like they don't cut grass no more, nigga.
Listen to the audio. Chris is outside.
They cut metal.
And somebody in the background is cutting metal, fucking with our pot. Listen, it's all good. Let's move on. What intrigued me on SmackDown was at the end who is going to be facing Roman. That what kept me through the show. When I said by the end of the night,
yes,
we're going to find out who is going to be competing with Roman at the Royal Rumble for the Universal Championship.
That was the only thing, honestly, to be honest, bro. Like that was the only thread that kept me throughout. Because if we're being a buck, I wasn't excited. I'm not excited about Brock and Roman. I think I made that pretty clear last week. So, like, Royal Rumble.
But as even though you're not excited for it, you're the one that's trying to book it for WrestleMania. I'm the one who's saying, hey, let's get this shit out the way. You know? Of all things.
I'm only booking it for WrestleMania if they take the title off of one of them. So that's what I'm saying. The Royal Rumble, if you got Seth and Roman and you got Bobby and Brock, both them niggas can't win, bro. Like that's impossible for both of them niggas to get those monumental wins going into fucking, going into WrestleMania. I don't think the Rumble, you need both of them to win coming out of there to make that a Mania match. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't. I would prefer it to be an Elimination Chamber match. Like I would hope that, you can put Brock and Roman and 4 other dudes, 2 from SmackDown, 2 from Raw. Whoever wins gets to hold both titles up in the middle of the Elimination Chamber. I am the undisputed champion of the WWE.
Trying to make somebody Chris Jericho?
I guess so. And the modern day undisputed champion. Mind you, that undisputed championship was probably one of the most best looking belts I've seen it in ages. It was similar to what you're wearing on your shoulder right now, but it was like a better version of it.
Disrespect.
Hey, listen, they disrespected the title when they put it on Shinsuke and didn't have a great match the entire time. Well, so that's how my fault.
Shinsuke's hurt from what I hear. Yeah.
So they got snap. So they better just give it to freaking Sammy. So we'll see, and Shinsuke, I hope you get better soon. But that IC championship mid card on the Raw SmackDown has been defunct for months now. But yeah, we're gonna get. So you said that kept me to the end of the show. At the end of the show, we get the reveal. Seth freaking Rollins walks into the office, and Roman has a look on his face like, God damn. And he just laughs.
Because not to bounce back and forth, but because on Monday, Seth Rollins told niggas that there's only 3 things in life that is true, nigga. It is death, it is taxes, and Roman Reigns loses to Seth Rollins, nigga. Like that's for sure.
Yeah. So what are you thinking about this Royal Rumble match?
This Royal Rumble card is looking pretty good. What I mean?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good to me too. Seth versus Roman, like I said, is break in case of needed. Roman said this on a podcast a couple of months ago, and even though Seth was drafted to Raw, they do whatever the hell they want. There's no logic behind the actual booking.
Thank you. I'm glad we're finally adding that to our caveat of conversation, right?
I mean, it's always been there. It's always been there, but you just can't see the nuance of what I say about it. But it's true. Seth Rollins is a Raw superstar. They told me that, not me. I didn't make that up. They said it. Now Seth Rollins is going to be fighting for the Universal Championship, which is on SmackDown. My thing is, like, if you want to talk about synchronicity, you want to talk about make it flow, make it make sense, like we've been talking about since day one on this pod, then just don't have a draft. Like, just don't do it anymore. Just unify the belts and let's unify everything now. Because they just fired half of their roster over the past couple of months. You might as well, minimize the titles and all that shit so we can get one women's tag team title, one men's tag team title, one men's mid card, and one men's main event card, and that's all you really need. And obviously the women's championship.
Is that all they really need though? Because that roster is huge. Like, I mean,
it's huge, but they just fired a whole bunch of niggas. So, like, make it competitive. Like, when you go through your roster, like Roman just depleted the entire roster on SmackDown. Then you have a draft, and there's still no competitors. You might as well just combine the rosters.
Well, I mean, that's my thing. Like, they can make a challenger out of anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but are you gonna be like, yeah, I want to see that? Yeah, they can put.
I was about to clamor for Jeff Hardy if he ain't drink himself out the company.
You would have me? I wasn't clamoring for that shit. Were you? Were you? Because I wasn't either. So no. So if you Jeff Hardy, as you say, like they would have had Jeff Hardy and Roman. Some people are huge Jeff Hardy fans, and shout out to Jeff Hardy. I hope you're doing great. And I don't know really what happened with him leaving the company. I don't really know. But at the end of the day, he's gone. He would have been somebody who should be a stopgap, maybe Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, face Roman, and obviously Roman pulls out the victory. But there is literally nobody for Roman to face on that roster. After he gets done with Seth Rollins, because Roman's not losing to Seth Rollins. Sorry, guys.
Roman and Sheamus will slap, nigga.
Roman and Sheamus
will fucking slap.
Here's the thing about Sheamus. You know me. I think he's a bona fide Hall of Famer. But just like Cesaro, he has no steam right now. We know they can wrestle, of course. Just like that we know he can wrestle. We know that. But will the angle work right now? Will the moment work? Right now, he's a heel. You have to turn him to babyface, or just going to do a heel versus heel match. I mean, we're already doing that with Seth, I guess. But yeah, we're doing the same thing with Doudrop and Becky too. So they don't really care about alignment at this moment. It seems like they're just trying to put things together.
And that's my thing. So we had a conversation in our WhatsApp. Shout out to our guy Rich, who's in the chat right now. Yeah, I mean, we had a conversation in our group chat about Cesaro possibly being a sneaker for my personal sneaker for the Rumble, and you guys laughed me out the fucking group chat. Cesaro, what the fuck is Cesaro?
Really, like Cesaro ain't it right now. Like, but we all know Cesaro's super talented. But when he had the ball, that's like, all right, you're going out there with Roman. Go out there and give us the.
He fumbled against Seth and Roman, bro.
He fumbled against Seth and Roman back to back, bro. It just he doesn't have charisma to garner. Now, granted, a lot of the times they were putting him out there and he wasn't even getting the mic. So I'm not sure if that was set up for him to fail. But at the end of the day, from that point on, no one's been talking about Cesaro, and they haven't done that since. And as they shouldn't, because they haven't given him time on TV to do it. He's done a little bit with Rich Holland, and didn't he lose to Rich Holland? I mean, I don't know. I forget because wasn't really paying attention to his angle with Sheamus and Rich Holland. I don't care. I don't. But we'll see how things will develop. If you can heat up Sheamus now with the Royal Rumble around the corner, you can heat up Cesaro in the mid-card with Sammy. I would love to see that at WrestleMania. Sammy and Cesaro, once again, from NXT, bring that to WrestleMania. Then, boom, that's a perfect main.
For the Intercontinental Championship?
Intercontinental Championship, perfect. Perfect spot for him. But right now, he ain't it. And Sheamus right now ain't it for Roman either.
Now, one thing you did say that you was interested in, but you don't think is our Naomi versus Charlotte situation. So, like, yeah. I kind of feel like Naomi and Charlotte, from the match that they had on SmackDown, I felt like that was the beginning of something, right? It was something that it is what I called for, right? I thought that Naomi and Charlotte could work. I thought that the angle would probably be based off of Sonya, which it is, but I ultimately think that getting Naomi with the crowd behind her to topple Charlotte and Sonya, like, I think that's a good story. Is this Charlotte declared herself for the Rumble? So where do they have their singles match? Do you think that's a stopgap match, or you think that's WrestleMania?
I mean, clearly right now they're already showing you the match live on free TV. So they don't see it as a WrestleMania angle, just like I told you. They don't see Naomi right now as one of their favorites. I think Naomi has a fan base that she should that would garner interest for a WrestleMania angle. Absolutely, I'm not knocking Naomi at all. It's not to her. That it's not her by any means. I don't see her at WrestleMania. It's the company. The company is a company that has their favorites they pick, and when Charlotte's on top, it's gonna be hard to knock her off the peg. And if Naomi's the person to do it, I'm there for it. They had a great match. But obviously there was a lot of storytelling with Sonya Deville restarting the match a couple of times, changing the rules, and I like the dynamic between that. But if you do that, stretch it from here in January all the way to when WrestleMania is it March or April?
April.
All the way to April. That's a hard task to do for this writing staff. And that's what I'm trying to say, and I think that it could work for sure. But on SmackDown, you got Shotzi, you got who else? I mean, Tony just left; she bounced. Sasha just got injured, so I want to see this angle over the next course of the next 2 months, Naomi and Charlotte, and I want to see how it plays out. I want to see it develop over time because I think they're going to have a great match, whether it's at the Royal Rumble or whether it's at Elimination Chamber. Either way, at Elimination Chamber, it's going to be a multi-woman match if they do it for the SmackDown Championship. I wouldn't give it to Naomi right now just to lose it at Elimination Chamber, and would you give it to her at WrestleMania? But I think that she's the one to take it off of Charlotte. I would say that too. Like I would like her to go on WrestleMania as champion, maybe against somebody else, like a Shotzi. And then obviously Charlotte has to do something else at that point.
Charlotte's not gonna do nothing else at WrestleMania.
She can face Ronda, bring Ronda back or something. I don't know. Bring who else?
Naomi and Shotzi. I'm not gonna hold you. Hold on. Like I'm not gonna be that guy, but Naomi and Shotzi not putting no asses in the seats.
I hear you. But you are that guy, so you know. I didn't want to be the guy, so I'll let you be baited. No, but you're right. But I think that there's the talent on SmackDown Women's Division. Maybe we get Sonya and Naomi at WrestleMania. But not for the title. I don't know.
That might work. But I mean, again, that's gonna be what, a 3-minute match, 4-minute match type shit.
Like pre-show or some shit. Nah. I don't know. We'll see how things play out. You also got the Royal Rumble, so any woman can win it and defend and challenge Charlotte. They might do Rhea and Charlotte again. I would not want to see that. But hey, I can see them doing that as a company because that's how they roll.
Rhea and Nikki gonna have some beef. I think that's gonna be That's gonna be a little bit like that's gonna take some time.
Yeah, so it's gonna take some time. So maybe not. So, but it may not take some time. They've had angles start and stop very quickly. There's things that could have happened with Sammy and Roman, and we never even got the match really. So when it comes down to it, Rhea is a possibility to win that Royal Rumble, and it's just the reality of the situation, and I don't see Nikki winning it, but if whoever wins it does have the potential to choose the SmackDown Women's Champion, and we'll see how it plays out. But as of right now, I like what they're doing with Naomi. I'm going to be honest. I like what they're doing with Naomi. I can't wait to see how this plays out. And when Naomi finally gets her hand on Sonya one-on-one, it's going to matter. So they're doing a great job with the storytelling. Now, will they actually pull the trigger, put the title on her? Because I think that's where you should go. She's your biggest baby face in the women's division, outside of maybe Bianca. Black women. They rock, right now they're the stars of the show, and I like the fact that they've given them the platform to grow their and show what they got. Like Naomi had a great match with Charlotte, so we'll see how things play out. But right now, I'm happy with how they're using Naomi.
Outside of that, on SmackDown, what else you want to give props to? I know you wanted to give props to that street fight between Usos and New Day.
Yeah, it just barely missed out my bangers of the week, but it was a good match. Good match. And with him being King Woods and getting the helmet and the super kick happened, and then it didn't work. It was a good spot. It was a good fun match. I like when they give them, the Usos and New Day. When you give them time, they come up with some cool spots, like cool creative shit. And obviously, the Usos are winning with the 1D. I love that through the table. uh, the 1D. So, and I think that's good for them because they don't got to freaking do a Uso splash all the time. They're getting older. And I'm sure it's not good on your knees, Landon, but it's all good. They are still champions. I don't know who's going to be up next for the tag team championship, but it looks like they're going to rock with these tag team titles to WrestleMania.
I mean, it's about time that the Usos did have a WrestleMania program that was tailor made for them, right? Because ultimately, that was the big joke in the rap battle, right? New Day was like, nigga, y'all you being catering a pre-show, nigga, before y'all fuck with us. We elevated y'all niggas, you know what I mean? Like, this is the time to kind of set the stage to be like, nah, nigga, this runs through us, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I can't wait to see who their next challengers are. It was nice kind of seeing. It's nice seeing New Day go under. You know what I mean, for the Usos, because that ultimately then just frees up an extra spot for another tag team. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna hold you. I am tired of seeing New Day versus Usos. I don't care.
Okay.
If it's a good match or still.
I mean, they've done everything. They've done street fights, Hell in a Cell. I'm sure they've probably done tornado tag matches.
Ladder matches, all types of shit.
Have they done a ladder match?
I think they have, if I'm not mistaken.
They did one at WrestleMania where there's one person from each tag team, right? It was New Day, Usos, and another tag team, but it was like a triple threat ladder match.
So Rich say, do they get to hold the strap through WrestleMania? Who, Usos? Through WrestleMania, I mean, I think that's where you drop it, right?
To who? They're the ones. To who?
That's what I'm saying, though. At the same time, like, maybe the Usos and New Day have a one-on-one tag ladder match at WrestleMania.
They already did that.
It wasn't.
You mean like Usos versus New Day?
Just no other no triple threat, no 4-way. Nobody else can make me lose. Yeah, I mean, like,
But with the 3D happening through the table, I will say make it a TLC match. And that's where I'll go. I mean, but they're the two biggest tag teams. There's no way New Day's not gonna be WrestleMania. There's no way the Usos are not gonna be WrestleMania. I mean, we're getting it now. I'm cool with it. I love the match, but I don't know where they're gonna go with the tag division. That's why I'm saying just unify the brands. I think Street Profits versus Usos would be great in a ladder match. I think that you got Alpha Academy and New Day. They can do something. That would be great. Have the WrestleMania,
But forget Alpha Academy. If the Usos say they the ones, and Alpha Academy is the twos. Yeah.
Speaking of Alpha Academy, let's go to Raw. We just spoke on a tag division last week. Randy Orton, Matt Riddle are not a real tag team, and they now have lost the tag team championships to.
Because you wish that evil on them, Ricky Bobby.
I don't wish no evil on my boys. I love Randy Orton. At one point, he was my favorite wrestler in all wrestling. And Matt Riddle, he's our boy. However,
damn nigga, don't believe him. He lying.
At one point, he was. I used to play WWE 2K. He was my favorite wrestler. But I think that the tag division, when you have the whole year giving the title to two makeshift tag teams to build around, AJ Styles and Omos, and then you go from that to another makeshift tag team in Randy Orton and RK Bro with Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. I do think that hamstrings the growth of some of your mainstream homegrown tag teams that are the long term ones, tenured ones, the ones that you say that came from NXT and aren't active. Like, I think that WWE has a hard time rounding out their tag division. I do. They keep trying to recreate Rock and Sock Connection, and it's just, we're never gonna see that again. Every now and then it works. Like, Hell No, that worked. RK Bro worked, not to the degree of Hell No even. I think it worked a little bit. If you want to give it credit, I think that they had chemistry, but the angles and the programs that they did not also elevate the competitors. I think that Hell No also elevated the Wyatts, also elevated, Shields, also elevated all types of other tag teams. Did Randy Orton and Riddle elevate anybody? I don't think so. I think that this championship switch to Alpha Academy is, how they say sometimes the man makes the title. This is what the title making the tag team. This title is now making, Alpha Academy a legitimate tag team. The WWE has a hard time creating authentic homegrown tag teams from way back when in NXT. They've had TM31. They fired one of the guys and then kicked Shane Thorne, and he just, in the abyss. You got what was the tag team with Alexa Bliss and Buddy Murphy and
Murphy and
the tag team.
Who was it? Blake and Burke? What? No, Blake. Blake. Steve Blake. Was it Steve Blake or some shit? Bro, I don't know. It was two white niggas, is what it was.
But they were a good tag team. I'm gonna look it up. They were a good tag team, and then he split them up. And then next you put one in Forgotten Sons, and then Buddy Murphy's on his own. And then next thing you know, he's gone out the company too. You got what else did you have? They had Enzo and Cass. I thought that was a real tag team that you could. All these tag teams could have stayed with the company and grown. Red Dragon. You can go down the list. The Mustache Mountain. They could have stayed and gone to the main roster and been real tag teams. Even FTR had a short run on the main roster, then left. So the tag division they have a hard time creating a very entertaining, well-rounded tag division that we used to see back in the day.
Is it okay? So Ford and Dawkins got together, got over, right? Dawkins and Dawson. Scott Dawson used to be a tag team, couldn't really work. Jason Jordan used to be in the tag team before he was in the tag team with Jason. Actually, he was in the tag team with Scott Dawson. Scott Dawson had like 3 partners before he got with fucking
American Alpha. Split them too. Blake and Murphy split them. But no, I know Scott Dawson had a tag team prior too. But they found that I don't really look at as a real tag team. They're just like, hey, you guys are PC guys who you guys need to get some time on TV. And then go out there and work as a tag team and, get some time on TV. That wasn't a tag team that was like, you guys are, still developing. When they made the Street Profits and then when FTR came together, it's a full act that works, and they found chemistry. When you find something that works, stick with it, When you have American Alpha, don't split them up and make one of them Kurt Angle's son. And I think that, and I know you have a main eventer in that, you take your time and like stretch it out. And Jason Jordan could have been a main eventer, I know, but take some time and like let him be a tag team for a year or two, and then have him go to the main event.
That was the thing. They already did it. They had him as They had him in a tag team for 2 years. Made him IC champion. Like Jason Jordan would have been a fucking
absolutely. But I think he should. They should have kept American Alpha together for some more time. I think they had more legs than them, and I think Jason Jordan had not developed on screen to the point where you're like, yeah, he's a single star right now. I think you should have given them more time together. So over the past couple of years, we've seen some great pairings come and go over time. Now, hopefully, Alpha Academy finds that chemistry and they can be a new stable tag team that finds.
They have that chemistry. Shout out to Gable. He wrote a message on Instagram saying how him and Otis known each other for about 10 years. They trained together in the Olympics, and
oh wow,
he put up flashback pics of them being together, and he was saying how he's more happy for Otis than he is from. So I believe this is Otis' first championship.
Yeah, it's his first championship. I'm really happy for them too. I think that it was a great decision on Raw to take it off of. Obviously, I was talking about last week. Take the titles off of Matt Riddle and gives a little shine to a different tag team. And Otis pinned Randy Orton, bona fide Hall of Famer. Like just clean, and I thought that was dope. So I mean, shout out to them, congratulations, and we'll see where they go from there. But WWE, they got to figure out a way to keep tag teams together that are working. So like, don't split up, for instance, MSK just because you want to see what's going to happen. Like, no, keep these guys together over time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, and then you get a long tenure tag team like the Usos and New Day that just can make other tag teams and make a magical match because they have all that built-in equity.
Well, I mean, ultimately too, like tag teams, it's hard to not have a tag team and not see a single star in one of them. Like it's really hard. Like unless you do have two bland ass niggas like FTR, where you know what I mean. Like you can't.
They're not bland.
You can't tell niggas apart. Nigga, I don't even know the other nigga name.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Okay, it's Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. Can you tell me which one was which without necessarily like looking it up quick fast? You be like Dawson.
Yeah, Scott Dawson is the ball one. Dash Wilder was the one with hair. I know. I'm a wrestling mark, I guess. But when it comes to the, then keep them as a tag team and actually use them as such, long term with them. I do believe that there is a way that people can outshine others, but I don't necessarily see that with the Usos. You
can't. You literally did. You wanted the Usos to have a fucking singles run, So what are you talking about? You literally.
No, I'm talking about. Okay, hey, listen. It's one thing after. When you write in everything they did with the Tribal Chief and how they're treating Jimmy Uso, I see a singles run in that. Yeah, I do. But when you talk about when they first came in, dog, no, they were just the same thing. They were twins.
What I'm telling you is that Jason Jordan has already been seen by Vince in NXT. He's already seen, nigga. He's already been noticed. So I'll bring you up. You win the tag team titles over the Usos.
And then I'm gonna tag you with. Then I'm gonna put you with Seth and win the tag titles. Like
yes, I'm because what he's doing again, he's grooming him and putting him with main event talent, which you already know.
Yeah,
like, you know that. Like so, Again, at some point in time, nigga, Dawkins gonna get hurt, and Ted's gonna be on his own, and it's gonna be a wrap for that tag team, my nigga.
Don't say that, man. You cannot just split the Street Profits up right now, and don't even speak that into existence, man. Honestly, I know.
See Tez cleaning up, putting on the suit.
Oh, of course. We already talked about. Even Dawkins just spoke on the pod. He said he sees Rock vibes in Tez, and we all see it. But what I say is, let them have some more stellar moments. Let them win a huge, They already had some good moments with them, so I get it. But like, I want them to have some more time together. Maybe breaking up tag teams is just the way that we do things. The Usos, New Day have never really broken up. But we need another stable tag team to hold some weight in the division. Is that Alpha Academy? Maybe we'll see how long term they actually stick around for. But WWE has a hard time creating those acts where you say, oh, that's a Hall of Fame tag team one day. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think also Hall of Fame tag teams is very hard to find. Is in that individual world is hard to find people who are altruistic between one another, my nigga. You know what I mean? Like it's very hard.
How do we get the Dudleys? How do we get the Hardys? How do we get the Edge of Christians? How do we get all that?
Hold on. Hardys
are brothers, obviously, yeah.
And then obviously they saw somebody have more charisma than somebody, and then somebody became a world champion.
But they also wrestled as a tag team for about 7 years before that happened.
What I'm saying though at the time too is that we look at asking for more time with these tag teams, but at the same time, if single stars is what cashes me out, if I see a single star that's in a tag team that I want out, then like you said, like I'm gonna pull them, right? So
I know. And I'm just bringing another side of the coin with the tag teams, and I know about the business. At the end of the day.
I'm saying like with the Bar was a great tag team that formed together, but obviously Sheamus is the more polished singles championship star. So if there was a turn that needs to happen, you have one set in place, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like, and ultimately, like you say, it's not a lot of tag teams that's built equity because, like you say, they might not believe in the tag team, but like if FTR doesn't get fucking hurt within the first 6 months of them there, they are that tag team. Like they are that tag. They brought them in. They are that tag team.
True, but now they're not there.
So like, you know what I mean? Like, and we see our niggas on Twitter flirting with the Young Bucks and shit. Like, listen, the Bucks ain't coming here, so guess what? You can do it.
They own the company. Why would they come here?
That's what I'm saying though. Like FTR talk. I think that's another that plays a part into it. Like also, y'all on Twitter talking about we can't wait for this to happen someday. Like, when is this someday gonna happen?
But the same thing with the Young Bucks and New Day though, you know. Now, like when you have legacy acts like, you know, the Midnight Express go out and have a match with the I don't know, the Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, and you know, like when you guys are older and you guys are doing it on some indie show, we nowadays can see legacy acts on main TV. I think that's the difference of the era in wrestling, that we see legacy acts now on mainstream TV. John Cena was just talking about how he's more of a legacy act now. And as we see Edge, you know, he can be considered a legacy act. Speaking of Edge, I'm liking this couple versus couple dynamic in the match, and how, you know, they're telling a story of Maurice being afraid of Beth Phoenix. And this gives a great angle for Edge to be in and Miz to be in at the Royal Rumble. You know, that has a story attached to it. They're having great promos. They're having great moments.
Like, I have to get a check with my bitch. Come on.
Yo, that's awesome. You get a check with your wife. That's awesome. Yo. And I think it's gonna make for a well-rounded review at Royal Rumble. I can't wait to see this. It's not like it's gonna be like, I'm not expecting a 5-star match, but I'm expecting some entertainment.
And like you say, you know, Maurice and Beth as the two wives, and this, they add a dynamic because they both play off their husbands, right?
Yeah.
Beth is an absolute fearless, gritty badass that's really willing to get it in. And Maurice is, I'm a bark, but I'm not really trying to bite, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, and that's exactly who Miz is. You feel me? Like, so they complement each other well.
The grit couple versus the it couple. You know, that's what he's been calling it. But it works. You know, I think that, you know, for more than anything, I'm happy for them because I know that they're having fun with it. And I enjoy it, especially when they bring up the packages and they show the history of these two couples and these two, you know, they're really showcasing the woman.
These two women.
You know? These two women.
My nigga. And Maurice is the longest reigning Divas champion that, you know, in history. You feel me?
Yeah. So this is a match that I could have seen at WrestleMania, and we're going to get it Royal Rumble, and I think it's something that I'm looking forward to.
Outside of that, what else got on your radar from Raw? You know, we had Nikki switch on Rhea, which added a great dynamic to the character, added great, you know, depth to the story. I was very excited for that. I don't have to stay too long on that. I just liked it.
No, I think Nikki. Okay, what you would have done it the opposite way, Rhea turning on Nikki?
No, I think this absolutely brings Nikki back.
Okay,
you know what I mean, and she can
almost superhero.
Like she's necessarily like she's the deranged superhero that thinks she's helping. Like, so she's a villain ultimately.
Yeah.
So they've already flopped it. She won the women's Raw title. She won the tag team championship. She's kind of decorated within the character.
Yeah,
she can pivot now. You know what I mean?
Facts. I think you're right. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that because I was gonna say something that I don't want to shit on it, but yeah, we'll see where it comes and goes. You know, I would have broken them up.
Rhea should have beat that bitch ass though.
Like,
Rhea should, but she was in shock though. She was like, "Listen, I can't."
Making me feel uncomfortable. Let's talk in the back. You know, I don't know where Rhea goes from here, but I think that turn in the Royal Rumble match would have been epic.
I guess this adds a story within the Royal Rumble match because now if Rhea doesn't win, Nikki probably eliminates. You know what I mean? And then
I would love the turn to happen there though. Like I would have happened like match. Like you can they have they hug each other and they like okay we're good. You know.
Where does Nikki snap though? Where does this
at the Royal Rumble? Rhea eliminates her. She gets back in the ring and goes crazy on her, and then she gets eliminated by somebody else. You know, like that's the moment. And like, oh, okay, I guess that tag team's over with. You know, and then you build that angle. You know, now we're gonna like see how they. We already know how it's gonna be. Oh, they're gonna.
Well, I mean, of course,
Nikki's gonna come out, and like a couple more entries later on, Rhea comes out right after her. Yeah, they're gonna have interaction. Rhea's gonna eliminate Nikki, and then it's gonna be what it is.
Well, I mean, according to your booking, nigga, we gotta end it. Nigga, Rhea going to WrestleMania.
I did not book Rhea at WrestleMania. I never booked that. I said that that's possible. You know what I told you guys in the group chat was I would prefer for it to be Naomi. I would prefer for it to be Naomi. I see them likely going with Naomi or Bianca is the perfect victory this year. But I see them likely going with Rhea to then, you know, add some unpredictability of who's she gonna choose, Becky or Charlotte, you know, and I think that's why they broke her up. So I think that's where they're going with Rhea. That's why I see it a mile away, but we'll see. You never know. Maybe Mickie James wins. You know, I don't. She's bringing the Impact Championship to the Royal Rumble. You know, and there's gonna be a lot of
Forbidden Door, my nigga.
Yeah, shout out to the Forbidden Door, man. Speaking of Mickie James, she had a great match with Hard to Kill. Check out Bangers. It was on my list on YouTube.
Well, check out what? Check out what? Let these niggas know.
Check out Chitty Bangers on YouTube. I'm listing the top 5 matches of the week weekly, so check it out. And that made my number 5 this week on Hard to Kill. Speaking of Hard to Kill, we got to mention, and we'll get back to Raw in a second, but I just want to quickly mention Hard to Kill, Impact, put on a great show. Man. I'm not a fan of Impact. I haven't been for years, but that was a really great show, man. Every match had
purpose.
Every match had difference to the match. Like everything, it was different. Like nothing was like, oh, that match was like this match. The first match was X Division match with the woman, Ultimate X match. Tasha Steelz won that with then they had these girls took some crazy bumps because when you're holding onto that rope and then you gotta fall onto your back from like all that high, it was crazy, you know. And she pulled out the victory, so that was good. But then right after that, they went to an X Division match with Trey Miguel and Steve Macklin, which was another great match. Great, they're giving them time. They're giving these young cats time in there, and that's what I noticed. Then you got the 2 big boss fight. You had Jonah versus I'm forgetting the guy's name, but he's a great performer.
Josh Alexander, I believe.
Josh Alexander, exactly. Sorry, but yeah, Jonah versus Josh Alexander. Yo, they tore it down that night. They did a great job. It was a great match.
He's a wrestling machine, Josh Alexander. I like his gimmick. I like his.
Yeah, me too. And I like what they did with him and Moose a while ago. He won the title, and immediately Moose came in, and he beat him right in front of his family. So I'm waiting for him to get his title match back, championship back, because he's had a very short reign. That immediately made him a huge babyface. And that was a great match he put on with Jonah. Then you guys
hold on. Say what you said about Jonah in the group chat on the.
Jonah, yeah, he looks way different than he did at NXT as Braun Suing Wwe. I honestly think that he's let off the leash a little bit.
Big dog let off the leash.
Yeah, he doesn't have the same match. You know, his matches were very formulaic in NXT. This I saw him add like just dimension to him. He was in the crowd. Josh Alexander did a dive into the crowd, took it out like all these chairs. They had he did a body press on Josh Alexander, pushing him all the way up in the air. Like there was a lot of go back and watch it. It was a good match. So I thought that was gonna be like one of those matches like an average match. No, it was above average. I honestly looked like a match where they were to main event a show. It wouldn't like be out of place. You know, then you had Moose versus, you had Gresham versus Chris Saban. Oh my God, pure wrestling match. was number 2 on my bangers list this week. They stole the show to me.
Wait, so Hard to Kill had 2 matches in the top 5, nigga?
Yeah, it did. It did have 2 matches in the top 5. The top 5 had Mickie James in my 5 position, but my 2 position was Gresham and Chris Saban. They stole the show, honestly. Talk about wrestling, man. These guys put on the show, and it was a pure wrestling match. So what I like about that is another different stipulation. Every match had like a different stipulation. This match was if Gresham were to be counted out, he would have lost the title. If he would have been DQ'd, he would have lost the title. And then they had 3 rope breaks each. So I'm not sure if this might be the first time I've seen a pure wrestling match, ROH style, in its entirety. And the rope breaks really matter, dog. Like, it really brings a lot of strategy to the match, and the rope breaks tend to be like a spot. Like, it makes the rope breaks actually like, oh man, he only has 1 more rope break. He got to get pinned here, and then he has to kick out or something. It makes it interesting. But Gresham pulled out the victory. Awesome match. Number 2 on my top 5 bangers. Go check out the bangers list, and then go back into Hard to Kill and actually check out the Brit pay-per-view. Great match. And then Mickie James and Deanna Purrazzo, they just had a hardcore match and a Texas death match. Yeah, another stipulation that was different. A Texas death match in the main event. Great main event. They had to get pin the other competitor, and then they couldn't make a 10 count. So that was a stipulation that was unique. So the whole pay-per-view felt like different. It didn't feel like an AEW product. It didn't feel like a WWE product, but it felt like a great wrestling product, and I have to give them credit for that.
Good shit, man. Good shit. Outside of getting that little segue to Hard to Kill, was there anything else on Raw that we need to talk about? I know we talked about Riddle and Randy. We talked about
Randy.
Hold on. We went from the main event of Deanna Purrazzo and Mickie James, and we didn't talk about the main event of Raw, the triple threat, Doudrop, Bianca, and Liv. Banger.
Look out. It might be up on that list this week. Listen, this was good. It was not only storytelling in it, there was also a really good match. Like, these 3 girls put on a great main event, and they each feel like they have importance in the match. Like, just go back and watch it. Like, Doudrop fits that role of the powerhouse. But then you have Bianca as a athletic powerhouse, which brings a different dynamic to the match. And Liv was super agile and she's improved a lot in the ring.
Liv has improved.
People are not giving her as much credit as she has been getting, as she needs, as she should get. She has improved tremendously over the past 2-3 months in the ring as a professional. I thought she might take it. At one point, she had Bianca in the Ring to Saturn. I don't see Bianca tapping out, but
it looked like it was she was trying to reach and do that shit, and I'm like, yo, is she tapping? Like, does she tap Bianca?
It was dope, and I think that was a moment I saw with Liv. I'm like, yo, Liv, you got something there, and she wrenched that shit in. So it was dope. And they had a spot where Bianca was at the top rope. She flipped up, caught her with her legs, and bring her back down
that Bianca 450 to break up
the pin. Yo, the match was stellar. So shout out to the 3 of those ladies. And then Doudrop put out the victory because Becky Lynch didn't want to face Bianca, of course, and she interrupted the count. No disqualification.
Oh my God.
No disqualification. No disqualification match. So yeah, Becky interrupted the pin for Bianca, and Doudrop ended up getting the victory over Liv.
Doudrop and Becky. Are you excited about that match?
Yes and no. It's a heel versus heel match, like we were talking about earlier. But I think it could surprise me. Put it that way.
My thing about that situation is that Becky and Doudrop, I think, is going to provide a different match, like you said. I don't think Doudrop's going in there to handshake or like it's gonna be like, nah, nigga, you put me here, you asked for this, I'm about to show you what I'm about.
Yeah. And she tried to hit her with the manhandle slam. She didn't get her up. So it should be a good storytelling match. And I'm glad that Doudrop's getting this platform because right now the women's division on Raw is popping. I got to give it this credit.
It's that.
It's good right now. It's good.
Now we can't talk about the.
I thought SmackDown would be good, but then I don't know. Over the last couple of weeks, it's like just took a dive.
Sasha hurt her foot. Yeah, I mean, and
Tony left.
Tony left.
And then Naomi and Charlotte are pretty much holding everything down right now, which is
exactly. And Bailey's gone too.
Which she will be back at the Royal Rumble.
Come on, she gotta be back.
She can win the Royal Rumble. Yes, Bailey. She's my pick to win the Royal Rumble.
Wow.
Even though a couple months ago I was like, I don't want Bailey or Asuka to win it, and I could.
Asuka's my dark horse to just pop back up and win that bitch.
Nah, Bailey got to win this one because
Asuka can't be a two-time winner, can she?
Asuka, she can, but it's not her year. It's Bailey's year. Yep. Think about it. Bailey was the host of WrestleMania last year. Didn't have a match.
Yeah.
Bailey got to win this Royal Rumble.
That's true.
Come on, Bailey. Let's return.
Come on.
This is your moment. And she honestly held down the pandemic era. So, gotta go with Bailey. That's my pick.
We can't talk about the beginning of the Raw the end of Raw without talking about the beginning of Raw. The beginning of Raw, that fucking promo, Brock, Bobby, what the fuck, man? Like that nigga told a knock joke, my nigga, and it looked like that Bobby might get squashed, bruh.
He said Bobby who?
Bobby knock.
Bobby who?
Bobby who? And my nigga said
exactly. Yo, I mean, I like the smoke. I like it. I like the drama. This is, what we saw on SmackDown. This was the complete opposite. This was Brock completely just
disregarded.
And we'll see how it plays out. It looks like he's overlooking Bobby going into Royal Rumble. If this is a squash, though, like you're saying, it would be one of the worst things they did in a long time.
Would you boycott? Would you boycott?
Boycott, like, this is wrestling, guys. This is wrestling, guys. If I want to watch a show, I'm gonna watch it. I'm not boycotting because the favorite guy I want to win lost.
Talk that shit.
I'm not.
Talk that reasonable wrestling.
I'm not boycotting because the guy who I wanted to win loses. No, but what I'm gonna say is, like, it's a wrong decision. Like, it's wrong. You don't get Bobby and Brock finally in the ring together and have Bobby just get squashed. No. Hopefully they're setting it up for a good back and forth match that, can hopefully steal the show. Because I think this is the match everybody's waiting for.
Yeah.
This is the match. Huh?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, this is the main event of Royal Rumble, if you ask me. So this is what you should really, by the time we get to Royal Rumble, which you got a couple more weeks, is really hammer in the chance that, like, this is going to be two Colossuses ripping each other apart. And Brock has to have a moment where he respects the Almighty at some point. And that's what I'm waiting to see.
Well, my thing is, I don't necessarily think that he'll ever get to the point where he'll respect him until hands get played on him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And honestly, like, Bobby can be like, yeah, you can play all those games like you want, but nigga, I had you on your knees, pause, and I hurt lock, pause. You know what I mean? Like,
I wish he said on Raw, but he just kind of stood there, and then he took over.
Because honestly, but let's be honest, like, Brock don't fear no nigga. Like, so yeah. Bobby going in there trying to intimidate somebody, like, that's not going to work. You feel me?
But it's like intimidating from a place of, you can talk all your shit like you don't know who I am, but you do. Because you were on your knees at day one when I had you in the hurt lock. Because at the end of the day, Bobby had a lot, because he physically dominated him.
But my thing is, my nigga Brock can be like, look at that nigga Braun too. When I put them hands on that nigga, he folded really quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can be, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I know Bobby's a badass for sure, but like, that's my thing. Like, I think realistically, like, what Brock said made sense. That's why I think it's going to sting when Bobby and Brock go in the ring together, and it's going to make for a good fight. Because listen, Brock wasn't ducking Bobby, I don't think. But to be realistic though, like if Bobby was everything that he thought or who we thought he was, him and Brock would have happened because Bobby would have been undeniable at that point. You know what I mean? But
when you're right.
Tour, like you've always been at the juniors, my nigga. Like you never stepped it up. Like you never stepped it up and been in the places that I've been to have your name ring bells, like my name ring bells. So, like, to be honest,
in this WWE ring, he's like, it was your fault that you didn't cross my path, because, you weren't pretty much good enough to cross my path, This is the moment, though, for Bobby, where he transcends that narrative. This is the moment where he has the opportunity to slay the beast and take him down after demeaning him and calling him out, calling him a Brock Lesnar wannabe. And if you want, like, who has more time? Who has more years in wrestling? Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar? Who has more years going forward?
Bobby got more years.
So you want to have somebody get the rub here. And if you want somebody to get the rub here, it's Bobby right now. And Bobby versus Roman, to me, at WrestleMania, is better than Brock versus Roman at WrestleMania if you're going to be doing that title versus title shit. That's my opinion. Because we've seen Roman and Brock a ton of times, and we haven't seen Bobby and Roman yet. And they were the two top dogs last year, respectively, in 2021. So having that at WrestleMania makes perfect sense to me.
Now, my question to you when you ask, will it live up to the hype? What's your hype?
Like my hype is I want to see them have a real match like that.
You don't want no Goldberg Lesnar shit.
No, I don't want that. I want them to have a real match, and I want them to, look like equal. Look like they're on the same level. Because I think that they both can have that match where we're like, wow, that's one of the best matches of the year. It has the possibility to be one of the best matches of the year if they go out there and really capture the audience. And that's what it's about, capturing that audience. Can we see Bobby defeat Brock? Is it going to be one of those things where it's like, oh, these near falls matter? Where it's like, okay, and then will Bobby or Brock get the crowds? Who's going to be on? The crowd's going to be on Brock's side. I think the crowd might have Brock's back. But if Bobby can get a good heel response, yo, let's go. And then you got Paul Heyman and MVP of Boot to add to the storyline and add to the match dynamic. So I love it all. The opportunity there. The opportunity is there to have a special moment. And that's what I'm waiting for. If you can capture my imagination in that match and have these two colossuses, not break the ring, but really do some crazy shit to end Royal Rumble with like, wow, I'm sure, I'm shocked.
So my thing is this. Them niggas gotta shoot. Like they gotta shoot? I need a work shoot in there somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I don't need necessarily NCAA grappling. I don't necessarily need the fucking chain wrestling. Nah, I need them niggas to like. I don't need.
At some point during the match, you want some MMA.
Fuck that. Start the match off with it. Let me know.
Start the match off.
The top. Like,
okay.
Don't collar, elbow, tie. I don't need that shit. I don't need no respect. I don't need none of that shit. Come out there like motherfucking Tekken, nigga, in your stance, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I want to come out there to like get busy because at the end of the day, like, yeah, Bobby gonna go for some suplexes, but shit, Brock need to go for some suplexes too. Yeah, I mean, like, I think
I want to see Brock with the Kimura lock. I want to see Bobby versus with the Hurt lock. I want to see those moments take place in the match.
I don't need Brock with that Kimura lock. He really be breaking niggas' arms, bro. he really be breaking niggas. He don't know how to motherfucking play. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But that's my thing though.
What we want though, if you really want
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Bobby will be able to protect himself a little bit better, but also like. I want them to go in. I want Bobby and Brock to go into it and be like, look, nigga, we make enough money to cover our injuries, right? So let's go. Like, that's what you feel me? Like, that's what I want. Because if let's say in the heat of the moment, Brock does put that Kimura lock in and he fucking wrench on it like he did Triple H, nigga. Like, I need I need Bobby to understand in the moment, like, oh no, shit, real nigga. I need to be able to defend myself. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to. I want to see a kidney shot to see Brock really fold, my nigga, because we ain't never seen that nigga fold before. You know what I mean? Like, does that Terbika Turbolotus, whatever that shit? Did that shit heal, nigga? We about to kick you in your spoon, nigga. Like,
all right, so you want some shoot? All right, I feel you, and I'm with it. That's something different though, and that's what I mean. Give something that fits this moment, because if everybody's been talking about it, which wrestling Twitter, wrestling Sphere has been talking about this since 2018 when Bobby came back, then it's about time you give us something special.
Man, so outside of, we went from SmackDown, we went to Raw. Do you want to just quickly breeze through NXT, because that shit was not even necessarily mentionable unless we're gonna talk about the we're gonna talk about
the new top dog NXT. Yeah, Braun Breaker, man. This man, he's a full package, man. He's got the look, he's got the moves, he's got the charisma on the mic. He's the full package. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's competing with Roman Reigns for the top spot in WWE in a couple of years. He's that full package, type of dude. Man, I don't see how anybody in NXT right now can take the title off of this guy anytime soon.
Not take the title off him, but our conversation that we had pre-production that we wanted to bring to the pod was, he's the top dog, but who's going to make him a star? Ciampa didn't make him a star. Ciampa just literally passed him the torch.
Uh-huh.
But who's going to make him a star?
This is what I would have done. Right now, you got Santos Escobar, looking at his waist like, hey, man, I need some gold, which I love the fact that Escobar won the match over Zion Quinn. I'm not with Zion Quinn yet. He hasn't proven to me that he's that dude. Escobar is that dude. Yeah, he's not there yet. So I would like to see Escobar versus Braun Breaker. However, he's not taking the title off of Braun Breaker. The guy who came down from Raw, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Listen to me. AJ Styles is, as you've seen what he just did with Grayson Waller. You just see that he's just giving him a lot of rub to make him look like a legitimate superstar. Woo! Now you got AJ Styles, a phenomenal one, against Braun Breaker. I would have been Samoa Joe, but Samoa Joe was released. Woo! So if Samoa Joe was not released, take the next best Impact legend and bring him over and have him make your top dog, Braun Breaker, take the next level.
The next best Impact dog, though, is Kurt, nigga.
Kurt? Nowadays, like, you know what I mean. You can't ask her to do shit right now.
Kurt can't even stand in the ring straight, man.
Yeah, but man, AJ Styles versus Braun Breaker.
Dallas. That's a star making. That's star making right there.
NXT Dallas, and shout out to AJ Styles. He's pulling double duty. I thought he was gonna go straight to NXT and lose to Omos and like that write him off for Raw, but no, he was on Raw again. So shout out to him. He's pulling double duty on Raw and NXT and giving these guys a little bit of a rub. I think that you set up WrestleMania weekend, AJ Styles versus Braun Breaker. Yo, NXT's gonna be lit.
Listen, man. Honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. I need Braun Breaker and Carmilla Hayes.
I mean, a champion versus a champion. I would like to see it, but I think that let's talk a little about Carmilla Hayes. I would like to see it. And Carmilla Hayes has gotten. He has something. He has something, and he definitely is a good wrestler. I like what he does in the ring. But whenever I see him out there, who's still in the show? Tripp Williams is the one still in the show. Tripp Williams is the one who's getting everybody talking about him because he gets like this over exaggerated way of being over the top, and similar to Montez Ford, who has a more character, more animated presentation. Tripp Williams has a more animated presentation that even though Carmella's a champion, you're like, oh man, that guy, he made me laugh. Like, that guy's funny, and
But that's where what is Heater supposed to do though?
They're not supposed to talk. You know, like Tripp talks. You know, and when he talks, it works. You know, so like I think that he's overshadowing Carmelo as an act right now. In my opinion, I think Carmelo's great though in his own right. You know, he brought out the 40, he poured one out to his ops, and you know that's cool. But I mean, it wasn't. I'm still trying to figure out where Carmilla Hayes is. Tripp Williams, I've already figured out. Like he's a over the top funny dude who he talks shit and he's also a cowardly, heel. So he's like he talks shit. He's a big dude. You think that he's gonna be tough, but he just talks shit and then he runs. But he gets it as a performer.
But I think also too, like to kind of piggyback off of what you say. I think we know what Mlw is, right? He's a highly confident, possibly maybe overconfident, but deliverable personality, right? He's essentially Black Adam Cole.
Like, that's all it is, and that's all it's gonna be.
That's all it is.
He don't got the baby. He don't got the boom. He don't got the it factor yet to me.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for that. I'm not saying he's
bad.
He
got the look. He got the ring now. Yeah. Honestly, I'm and that's my fantasy book. I know. Honestly, realistically, I would want Tripp Williams and Carmelo to win the tag team championships, and then he'll double champion up that way.
Do you think that Carmelo should beat Braun?
No, that's what I was just about to say. Back to our original conversation. Who's gonna make Braun a star, right? Who's gonna make Braun a star? I can't really argue against fucking. I can't really argue against AJ Styles too much, for the simple fact that, like, one, he's there. Two, he is a star maker. But I honestly think.
I think what I think you're gonna say.
Well,
because you brought up somebody. I didn't want to cut you up, but you brought up somebody in the group chat that's in the Royal Rumble. And that man is Walter. And Walter.
Yes.
I mean, Walter versus Braun Breaker would be awesome. It would be dope. I would love that shit. So hey.
Walter and Braun Breaker that makes Braun a star. That makes Braun a star. That puts Braun. Listen, I don't know who that Aishka Kleifster nigga was that won the title off the nigga.
Igor Dragunov.
Oh, okay. Igor Dragunov.
No disrespect me. He had two of the best matches of the year last year.
Shout out to Kleiser. Yeah, I mean, the nigga made like national news in this country and worldwide because he was getting his chest chopped off. You know what I mean? Like, people respect Walter that way internationally to where his name ring bells. I was gonna say honestly.
How about that? AJ Styles at WrestleMania, Walter before WrestleMania.
Nah, I was gonna honestly say Triple H and Braun Breaker.
Triple H is. I hope he's well. I mean, honestly, I would like to see it too. If Triple H can get himself into shape, and if he can do, I'm not sure how he's feeling. If he can actually have a match, just for the rub, it works.
That's what I said. The rub.
That definitely is. But you're not going to have Triple H at NXT. He's going to be getting a WrestleMania paycheck if he comes down there. He'll be doing NXT a favor if he were to go there and do that. And I don't know where he's at right now. And we haven't seen him on TV in a while. So when he does come back, it's going to matter. When Triple H actually does show up on screen, it's going to matter. But I hope he's healing up well. And
I think Walter and Braun does a really good service to one another. You know what I mean? As far as
but here's what I'm gonna say though. We asked the question of what's next because we didn't really see much on NXT this week that showed like, oh, there's anybody that can compete with this guy. But we just named two guys that are bona fide main events for TakeOver. So we'll see what happens, but take our opinion and run with it if you hear
us. Outside of that, NXT was wiggity whack. when it came to the women's division, like my gosh, I mean, Mandy looks pretty good, but they had 2 segments of her and Toxic Attraction just in fucking like bra and panties or just pre-tape vignettes, and I get it,
Maybe.
NXT bring the bitches out, but that title need to come up off Mandy, dog.
Mandy right now, she looks great, but she's gonna hold that title and she's gonna be the holder until takeover in Dallas. That's what I see. They don't have anybody on that roster that can beat her, unless it's Io. Unless it's Io, they want to put it back on her. And Io, I would honestly call her up.
Yo, Io making a surprise entrance on the Rumble would be fire.
For Io to be called up. So when it comes to NXT, I see they're having multi-win matches. I think they got Amari Miller doing things with Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter.
Caden Carter, yeah, Caden Carter.
So so they're obviously they're working with Indy Hartwell. There's the lady who used to be with Boa. She's now a sleeping character, a sleeping.
No, that's not Xia Li.
No, not Xia Li. That's the other one. The one that was in the seat. Karen Q, they used to call her. Now they're calling her something else.
Wendy Wu or something like that.
Wendy Wu or something, and she was sleeping in the ring on NXT. And then they got, and then they got Indies Diesel, Indies homegirl from Australia or something.
Persia from Australia, my nigga. I didn't even know they made Persia in Australia, my nigga.
I think they need some time. They just need some time to, get somebody over. And I think that any one of those girls could be it, but you got to find that it in the division, because right now all you got is Toxic Attraction as far as intrigue, and then you got Io, of course. And then the lady who was Io's tag partner, she injured. So maybe she would have been a filler, but right now it's just not. There's nothing there.
It's nothing there. Nothing there. The tag division is tied up in the Dusty, so we'll see. The Dusty final. So I'll comment on that when I know who in the Dusty. But I love.
How is it working? Is Imperium in the tournament, or are they going to be the finals?
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. Like last time, the champions can win the Dusty. You know what I mean? So, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if Imperium is in it, but that would help if we talk about Walter winning the NXT Championship, Imperium having the tag team titles, and then they you know what I mean? They have it like that. Absolutely.
I want Walter and Braun Breaker have a feud, man. Like 2-3 months. Well, have them go at it for months, and then have him, work with Imperium and see how they can do during that. Maybe 2 months of working together. It can honestly take it to the next level for Braun. What's up, everything for wrestling?
What's good, my guy? You know what I'm saying? How's it going, my G? My man Conrad. Now, with that being said, too, I think the tag division is stacked, but it's whack.
Where?
Like the NXT. Like they got
whack.
You feel me? They got Imperium, they got Grizzle Young, they got Creed.
And they got MSK.
They got Imperium and they got MSK.
And Carmelo and Tripp.
That's pretty stacked.
Yeah. I would take Carmelo and Trick to the finals, though. I really would. I would have Carmelo and Trick versus MSK in the finals, and the winner goes after Imperium. The Creed brothers need some time. I need to get used to them. Grizzled young veterans, I think they're good. They're great in the ring. They just need to get over just need to get over. And I think that Carmella and Trick are the ones to go to the finals and go up against MSK possibly. I think that'll be it. And that's the booking tag division.
That's your booking tag division. Now, Kim, do you wanna go from your booking tag division to booking black?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So our booking black segment of the week is our guy Biggie.
Yeah.
Right. So as you can see, it says, "What's next for Biggie?" What do you think, or what do you feel, what do you believe is next for Biggie?
Man, he's lost a lot of matches, man, over the past couple months. Since he won the title, it's been like a curse. He's lost to Brock. He's lost to Seth. He's lost to Seth again this past week on Raw. He's lost to Roman. He's lost a lot of matches. With all that being said, this is the power of positivity. So, he shall rise again. Big E.
Are you positive, my nigga?
The Royal Rumble.
Wow.
That's what's next for Big E. Listen, if you want to tell a redemption story, here's it for you right there. Big E winning the Royal Rumble. You know, he's the guy. Give Big E the strap. Give him the Royal Rumble victory. He can choose between Bobby or Brock. Get his revenge on Brock, or you can go after Roman and get his revenge on Roman. He's lost to both of these guys over the past couple months. Now he gets to redeem himself at WrestleMania, biggest stage of them all.
Okay. So you got my nigga Booking Black winning the motherfucking Royal Rumble.
What can you do from here? He's lost too much. You just take a 180 and he wins the big one. Now he's lost. If he loses matches to Seth on Raw after being champion, then it's okay if he wins the Royal Rumble. He's bounced back. Boom. He's back to being hot. But if he loses matches and then he loses the Royal Rumble too, then where are we going with this guy? What, Damian Priest? Are we taking him back to the mid-card? Because that's what it feels like.
I honestly think that Big E can, man, winning the Rumble. Damn.
No, say no. Say no. Do it. Say no. Tell us right now, Big E should not win the Royal Rumble.
I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do
it. Yo, I'm telling you, man. That's my Booking Black.
So, okay, let's take it a step further. Who does he challenge?
It all depends what happens with Bobby and Brock. But saying that, let's say it's Brock and Roman, champions after Royal Rumble. I would tease the Brock interaction again, and then I'll have him go after Roman. And I'll have him, try to defeat the Tribal Chief at WrestleMania. Again.
Do you tell a story in whole and complete the trifecta and have him go after Roman and have then now the New Day and New Day complete the cycle and have all the titles on SmackDown? Is SmackDown their show after Mania?
That would be crazy. If the New Day have SmackDown as their show, even if it's for a month only, I would love to see that. Just see that Big E has the WWE Championship, Kofi and Woods with
the Universal,
excuse me, the Universal Champion, and he would have been a WWE and Universal Champion by that point.
Yeah,
come on. I would love to see that on SmackDown. The SmackDown after WrestleMania, them come out together, all with gold, and not the tag gold only. So I'm with it because we haven't seen them hold 3 titles. Have we? We've seen them hold 2, the tag titles. Come out all with straps on their waist. Come on, New Day. I love it.
That'll be fire.
Yeah,
that'll be fire. That's that's our Booking Black. Big E and New Day winning their titles at Mania. That's what we want.
Here we go. Now, let's go over to the AEW.
Ambulance over your side too?
What the fuck is going on?
Bro, I had an ambulance on my end here. What the fuck? We are in 2 different sides of the city too.
Yo, for real. Yeah. I hope it's not the apocalypse. All right, let me look outside the window real quick. All right, moving on from Big E. That's our book in black. Let's go to AEW. We haven't talked any AEW yet.
No.
Let's talk about how they introed the show this week.
Okay.
They started the show with Adam Cole and Red Dragon coming out and talking about how they have New Year's resolution. Adam Cole's a great year in 2021. Great year for Red Dragon in 2021. They have New Year's resolutions that Adam Cole is going to still be great. And Red Dragon's resolution is to be the tag team champions in AEW. Out comes the Young Bucks to interrupt them. They tease Red Dragon and Young Bucks, which I told you on the pod a couple weeks ago. That's the match I'm waiting for in the tag division on AEW. I got to be honest. AEW always brings me in with the tag division. There's always something like I'll say, okay, that's a match I'm waiting for. That's down the line that, whenever that happens, I'm going to be there for it. That was FTR and Young Bucks for a while. Now it's Young Bucks and it's Red Dragon. And then they added the best friends to it, and it all got muddled. So wiggity. But no, I like the segment though. All together, I like the segment because it came out on top. Adam Cole, Young Bucks, Red Dragon, all unified, and then Britt Baker also got in and got her hands on Chris Statlander and defended her man. And this is the first time we got to see Britt Baker and Adam Cole, I think, on screen together. It was awesome. So it looked like a real faction, like Young Bucks, Red Dragon, Adam Cole with his girl. Like he looks like he's like the leader of it, because Kenny's not around anymore. So you got to have somebody who's in the spotlight. And it came full circle for me in that picture, in that moment. So I'm with it. I think that moving forward, this is how it goes. They keep on having a little bit of jabs with the tag teams in it, and then eventually we'll get Red Dragon versus Young Bucks, and then you got Adam Cole, Bay with DMD, and oh my God, DMD is so over, man. She is so over, man. But she might be one of the biggest stars in AEW. I would say she's one of the top 2-3 stars in the company outside of MJF, CM Punk, her. Hangman Page, I think he's great. But I don't think he's as big as those guys yet, even though he's champion. I think but I'll get to him in a moment. But more than anything, DMD is on such a different level than the rest of the women's division, man. Like right now, I don't know where they go with her, but I'm curious to see where they go because they have a stacked division, so they can go a lot of places. But I don't see her losing the title anytime soon. Like she's just too over.
Yo, and that was a question that we had also that I wanted to bring up, that I'll bring the graphic right now. You feel me? DMD, who can compete, right? Like who is her child? Who can match her as far as popularity? Who has the cachet? Who can like, you know what I mean? Like who can you see that can compete with her to even have like Riho? She cool. We can give her a match. You know what I mean? Like Ruby Soho, cool. We can give her a match. She lost, right? We ain't gonna combine. We ain't gonna even her and Jay stand away from each other. You know what I mean? Like, do I want to see Britt Breaker and Thunder Rosa again? Like where's the who is
believe it or not, I know we've been talking about heels versus heels all pod. Even with Becky and Doudrop, with Roman and Seth. I want to see Serena Deeb and Britt Baker. Serena Deeb right now has looked the best she's looked in her entire career. Honestly, I mean, since the Straight Edge Society, I think, was the last time she's been relevant like this. And she's a veteran that is just fed up with being overlooked. And her taking out Carl Sheeta on a weekly basis is working for me. I love it. So she has this edge to her that I think that her and Britt Baker, I'm looking for that match.
Man, my thing is, it got to be an angle where Britt Baker's scared of Serena. She's running from Serena. Like Serena's like she's tired of being disrespected. All these bitches getting matches, all these new bitches coming in, whatever the case may be. I never held a world championship. I never had a world championship match. She got to have that type of angle. She got to have that type of vibe. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way it's going to work for me. Because if anything, Britt Baker needs new challengers. She needs new competent challengers. You know what I mean? Like, unless I don't know who Jamie Hayter is for me to even like her for the turn. Like, they trying to make her the female Wardlow, but like, like I don't, because she never does the DMD joint. You brought that up to me. Like, she never does the little gesture. Like, and that's the right there. You know me? Like, everybody doing this. Be like 2000, Tony Schiavone do it, nigga. Like, everybody, she be like,
exactly. You got the other one, her other hype girl. She always does it, and she's, mind you, she's a great backup to Britt Baker. Whoever her manager, that kind of, I forget the names. I'm not good with names, guys.
Rebel or Reba?
Reba. I think it's Reba. But yeah, she's
not Reba. I think that's what it is.
Rebel,
not Reba. Let me see.
Yes, we need to figure it out. But forgive us, man. We on this. We're smoking this pack real quick, so you guys get it. But yeah, she does great as the heater for Brit, and so her and Jamie Hayter obviously will, at some point come to blows. But the one match before that happens, you got Serena Deeb, and I think that's the next where you go next. Does she take the title? I don't know. I don't know if you could take the title off of Britt Baker right now. She's just too hot. If down the line, I want to see her versus Jade Cargill. That's the match also that's down the line that is just sitting there. Just the women's division right now in AEW has many ways you can go about it, but you've already exhausted a lot with certain women with Thunder Rosa and Ruby Riott. They got to get heated back up.
Soho.
Huh?
Ruby Soho.
Ruby Soho. So once they get heated back up, then sure, yeah, you can put them in the match with Brit too. But right now, yeah, Serena Deeb.
Anything else from AEW? Like, are you interested in what they're doing with Sammy Guevara and Cody Rhodes? Are you interested in like this Jericho and Eddie Kingston? Are you interested in that?
Nah, I'm interested in MJF and CM Punk though. I like that. That's bringing me to the show. When they finally have a match, it's gonna matter. Seeing CM Punk get power bombed about like 8-9 times by Wardlow this week, thought was great. And I told a story with the dissension between Wardlow and MJF, and I'm really excited to see where this goes because they keep adding layers to it. And now next week he'll face Shawn Spears, and then hopefully he'll get to MJF after that. They're pretty much doing the same thing they did with Jericho, but in a different manner with MJF because he has these guys who he has behind, and that's who he is. He pays guys to do his dirty work. And the end of it all, MJF got to go over, man. MJF it's his time. It's his time, man. He said it's his resolution to be AEW champion. And I think by the end of 2022, we will be seeing AEW being championship rocked by Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He will be champion at some point this year. But it's just a matter of time. So, yeah, looking forward. We'll see what happens with CM Punk versus MJF, but I'm there for it.
First time I saw MJF ever, I worked with him at MLW. Shout out MLW. I actually, listen, Sammy Guevara, Sammy Guevara, Shane Strickland, Penta Phoenix, MJF, Joey Janela. Like, I worked with all them niggas, and I went and I met them all through MLW. MLW put a lot of these niggas in position that I'm not necessarily I'm not necessarily saying that they wouldn't have got seen otherwise, but what I am going to say is as minor production at MLW was, I think they were able to necessarily help produce and get some of these guys ready. You know what I mean? Because I've never saw Sammy Guevara before, even though I know he's quote unquote a vet and show of Shane. I saw Killshot. I didn't know Killshot was Shane Strickland. You know what I mean? Until I figure that out. But at the same time, though, like you can see who some of these guys were a couple years ago. MJF was that nigga at MLW, as far as like, damn, I could see that nigga going to NXT and being the shit bag. You know what I mean? Like, and really getting over. He took that to AEW. You know what I mean? And we see Penta and Phoenix being as great as they are. Shane, I don't know where he's going to end up at, but I think Swerve is a competitor that can ultimately come and win that TNT championship.
Oh man, if they sign Swerve to AEW, that'll be great. I think that I like what they're doing with Dante Martin because I would love to see Swerve versus Dante Martin.
Oh,
that would be ill. So, but yeah, there's a lot of guys that are kind of simmering in AEW. Even Leo Rush was there. I'm not sure if he's still, haven't seen him in a while because they just put Dante Martin with. They put him with Jay out of nowhere. He went from his tag partner like that title.
Who's black? Go say that.
Yo, it's ridiculous right now. Yo, Team Taz was trying to recruit him, and now, so we'll see what goes on with that.
I'm saying Hobbs had a really good match. I do want.
Oh yes, Hobbs did have a good match. Yes, Hobbs had a good match. He hit him with a spine buster on the outside of the ring. Yo, that shit was massive.
Brody King showed up.
Oh yes.
And Brody and Malachi is gonna run rapid on that motherfucker, bro. Like,
this is what you called it. You said it.
I'm excited about that, nigga. I'm excited about that, yeah.
Brody King and with Malachi Black, it works. If you're talking about the Kings of Darkness,
yeah,
no,
yeah, that's fire. That's fire. Yeah. I'm fucking with that.
That's dope.
I'm fucking. So AEW got some shit, like I say, you know what I mean? They shoring up their women's division. Tony still hasn't apologized. We still on your ass, my nigga. Don't think we forgot because you putting out some pretty decent wrestling that we forget about.
We know you still haven't apologized. We're gonna still keep talking about it because that's disrespectful, man.
Who's Hangman's challenger before we leave AEW?
Shout out to Lance Archer. He just returned. The Murder Hawk returned. Shout out to Lance Archer. Yo, listen,
bro. Why did we even start doing that, bro? Like we gotta find some throwbacks. And I used to be like, who the fuck is Lance Archer? Nigga,
why I spoke up nigga into existence. I didn't even know. Out of nowhere, he pops up and he didn't even exist before. He just pops up in New Japan. It's like, oh my God, there's really a Lance Archer. And then he pops up in AEW. And now he's going to face the AEW World Champion. So like, shout out to Lance Archer. It's a great return. I think it's perfect. It's a perfect spoil for Hangman right now. A big guy coming out after, Daniel Bryan wrestling him a smaller dude. You get to see him compete with a guy bigger than him and really round out his style in the ring as a champion.
Too crazy.
He did. Oh my God. That finisher is crazy. It's not safe.
Yo, but my thing is, again, why did you even bring up Lance Archer, bro? Like, why were you like, what even sparked that? Like, was he in a tag team previously? Like, what were we doing that you was?
You know what? I was like, we should just shout out some random wrestler every year, every show. And I couldn't think of somebody, so every week it ended up being Lance Archer. I was like, just let me just shout out somebody that has never been on TV. I think one time I was like, shout out S.A. Rios. And it's just like, I don't know. We're starting a new pod. How you do this podcast thing? Let's just shout out everybody. And we still shout out everybody. But let's shout out Lance Archer for the longest. It's just been a bit. Ever since. It's been an inside joke. If you know, you know.
Oh man! So before we get out of here, y'all know we do our business and logic segment. You know what I mean? So we about to go ahead and get that gimmick up there for you. Business and logic.
Business and logic this week.
I don't know if y'all heard.
You were just talking about MLW and your time there, and now we have a story that just broke on the New York Post that MLW is now suing WWE for tampering with, and it's kind of like monopolizing the business. They had garnered a deal, and all the work that MLW has put in from when you started there till now, and they're still around. And throughout the pandemic, and then you get actually a TV contract deal with Fox for, was it Tulo?
Tubi was it
Tubi, excuse me. Tubi, as I said, I'm not good with names. Tubi, the streaming service that's on the Roku's, right?
Well, yeah, let me. I'm about to pull it up right now. MLW suing WWE. Shout out to Google.
Shout out to Google. I need to invest in Google, man. I just need to really just suck it up, put some money in Google because they ain't going nowhere anytime soon.
So I found it. It says Major League Wrestling has filed an antitrust lawsuit in San Francisco federal court against WWE, and it says for ongoing attempts to undermine competition and monopolize the professional wrestling market by interfering with MLW's contracts and business prospects. So we've also talked about how we said that, well, when I worked there, Bruce Pritchard was there. Bruce worked for MLW for a little bit. And ultimately, like, I don't know why Court didn't think that. Like, I'm assuming Court wanted to be gay, right? Court wanted. I'm assuming Court wanted MLW to be Evolve, but what he didn't necessarily do, he trusted Bruce to come in and like assist and help and give credibility and shit like that. But ultimately, Bruce was in there shopping, nigga. Bruce was shopping.
What do you mean shopping?
Bruce was, huh?
What do you mean shopping?
Bruce was in. I mean, Bruce is a Vince guy through and through, my nigga.
So you think that Bruce was like talent evaluator, kind of like a
fucking yes. He figured out what they was doing, how they was doing, what they was doing, what the goals were, and he went back and worked. And then ultimately,
so you think he was a mole?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bruce was absolutely a fucking mole to the point where Bruce had obligations. He had, he was doing his weekly. He was doing his podcast with Conrad. He used to do CNN hits, I think, or CNN or some hits he used to do for a news channel, Business Insider News or some shit like that. And then, you know, he was dibbling, dabbling, working with Vince. They was doing shit for the network, you know, and we thought Bruce was like, damn, that's how you really get to do it. And then ultimately he went back and worked for the company. He went back and worked for fucking, he did Raw, he did TV, and then not like, Bruce is back in, nigga. And, and what I'm saying to you is that everything that Court wanted to try to do, of course, is getting blocked, my nigga, because they know your chess moves. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I definitely think that they have a case, because if they're going to Fox, and I get it, maybe it might be a conflict of interest for Fox to have them, but when you already get a deal with not Fox TV, Fox streaming service, it's not even a Fox. It was Vice
TV. They say
Vice.
Yeah, it says MLW alleges that a former WWE executive warned Vice TV that Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon was pissed regarding the network's plan to air MLW programming.
But we can watch Dark Side of the Ring no matter what. Like, you see, this is what he cares about. He doesn't care about how he looks in the media. He cares about actual business and equity and actual market share. And that's what I think that they're saying, that this is egregious. When you go to a company and say, hey, you can't hire this provider because we exist. No, there's no real way other than your cachet to say, you know what, we move this industry, this entertainment industry, and we're going to stomp on the little guy. So I think MLW has a case here where if they go to court, there might be a settlement. They might actually they might actually win, you know, and if they get a settlement, that's going to help the company out. I'll tell you that.
Well, so it looks like from what I'm trying to figure out, who owns Vice.
It's tampering.
I'm trying to see who owns Vice, and it looks like Vice is owned by A&E Networks. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it says that they also entered. Like I was saying, it says that they also entered into agreement with Fox too.
Yeah.
With Fox, and a lucrative deal with Fox-owned streaming service Tubi.
Yeah.
And we all know SmackDown is on Fox.
Yeah.
So maybe WWE looked at it like, oh, well, it's not on television on Fox, but it's on their other streaming service. We don't want you dealing with this company at all, and then got involved in that. Now, if the deal was already done, then you actively got in the way of MLW making a bag in the industry, and you blocked it.
Lost 40% in ticket sales. Damn, Tubi streaming services abandoned the licensing agreement the night before it was publicly announced. I mean, bruh, at the end of the day, like, niggas, like, I have no idea why. Court. Listen, he was concerned about me, man. You got legit, like, you got moles, nigga. Like, what do you think? Like,
I mean, if you're trying to be somebody, then you're gonna fail. You're trying to be an imitation of somebody. You gotta be original. You gotta be original. You gotta you gotta start from the ground up, and you gotta build it. And I think MLW is doing a great job in that.
Now,
but
you
cannot run your ship the same way Vince runs his ship, and then feel like you're going to not fall underneath the same umbrella of people you're working with, and then get ate up by the big shark. We don't have. Who doesn't also have a television deal? Evolve. They don't have a television deal either. But they're also under kind of like WWE's umbrella pipeline. So. And that's the place they took. If Court intended to be where you said that Evolve was, then he failed, because now he's on the outside looking in. And then on top of that, now you're trying to go the other route, like an AEW or an Impact route,
or ECW
route, and you're getting blocked out. You're getting boxed out now by WWE, which it's an interesting. And I think the only reason why AEW works is because they have the cachet from Turner and the relationships with Dusty and Cody, and then the cons. That's why it works.
Money.
Why Impact works. Yeah, money talks.
They don't have that money.
Yeah, money talks. Impact, was with
Impact with Mark Cuban right now, bro.
They were working with a lot of different companies.
But Cuban owns them now.
So now they're with Mark Cuban, and they've already been on TV, so they know they have.
And Cuban owns the television. Access, he owns that television station.
Oh, okay, that makes perfect sense.
So
I didn't know that.
Exactly, yeah. So when I'm talking, that's what business. You know what I mean? Like, MLW doesn't have a big wig money behind them that can. You know what I mean? Like, they were like
this deal was vital for them.
It was vital for them. It was
that would have fucked up my entire year if I was them. Shit, I would have been pissed. I mean, shit. I get why they were pissed, man. Shout out to MLW. Good luck with the lawsuit, because I'm on your side. Hopefully, you get a victory here, and you guys can get a TV deal, because I think that they do have a way of putting on good shows. At one point we were going to MLW each week to talk about, and then it kind of died down. But hopefully, they can get right back to where they used to be.
I mean, they took the title off of fucking Simone Werewolf and put it on Alex Hammerstone. So whenever they fucking redo that shit, I'll be back in.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see a rematch. I think they're both talented, to be honest. I do. Hammerstone's underrated. Oh, you know who else is underrated? Moose. Listen, man. Why do you hate on Moose? He's another guy who showed out at Hard to Kill. He's super athletic, man.
Moose.
And you said that Baron Corbin's better than Moose. And you're the guy who's like, oh, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Nigga, no, you're not. You're not rooting for Moose. You ain't rooting for Moose.
Hold on. You was like, well, I would just want to root for them because they black. I gotta have to listen.
Yeah. And Moose showed me something. That's why
Moose is a fantastic athlete. Never took that away from him. I'm also not even going to hate on him from having the gimmick of being calling himself the wrestling god, because Like, get the fuck out of here, nigga. You can barely say the words, wrestling god, nigga.
So it's the lisp.
Listen,
that's why you hate on him.
I don't hate on the list, bro, but he not really a good talker. He not a good talker, period. You feel me? Like, I think, okay, so my thing with this is, again, Moose, fantastic athlete. Moose and Corbin both played offensive linemen. You know what I mean? Like, Moose and Corbin both do things that other people can't do. Moose does some things that Corbin can't do. And Corbin does some things that Moose can do. And Corbin can talk. And when it comes to wrestling, and like you saying, like, I'm not saying that Moose is bad, but I did say that Moose. Listen, you gonna say you said Hammerstone was underrated, and then you gonna say you also know who else is underrated? Moose. I put both them niggas in the same category. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
All right. Hey, man. Hey, wrestling is subjective, so if that's what you think, I can't deny it. But I see that Moose would fit in WWE and have some really good matches with Sheamus, Cesaro. I can see him have good matches with Seth Rollins. I can see him just match quality. You know, let's not talk about the talking so much. I get it. Maybe he can't do a Happy Corbin segment. I don't know, but he can definitely wrestle. That's what I mean. Yeah. You know, so that's good. And Hammerstone, I haven't really heard him talk. I haven't really seen him, but I can see that he can wrestle. There's an it factor to him that when he's in the ring, he does something different.
Ain't an it factor enough to take the title off of Fatu, man.
They did it. So I guess it was.
He should have been Bruno Martino or fucking MLW.
Oh, really? Somebody had to beat him at some point. And Hammerstone's been rocking with that company for years now. Like, he's not left. He's been there, staying true, working hard. He's held up every other title. So I guess at some point it was just a matter of time.
That's true.
Yeah, shit, I don't want no fucking letter anymore. Shit. Moving on. Without that being said, is there anything else we got to get to? No. I know that we have Smackdown coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll see what goes on with the Seth and Roman stuff. Anything else in wrestling that we need to touch on? No. Okada called out Daniel Bryan and CM Punk a couple weeks ago. I'm looking forward to seeing that if that possibly happens. You guys know Okada's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. I just haven't seen him wrestle in a while because I just don't have access to New Japan. Yeah, we'll see what goes on there. Hopefully he can sneak through the Forbidden Door and come to AEW and get some of these stellar, classic matches that could possibly happen. Dream matches that we thought we couldn't have before.
I think that would be great too. That's my only addition to that, because honestly, if it happens, it'll happen, but I won't get my hopes up for it. Like, I would just say, like, if it happens, it happens. But as far as the wrestling week or things that I wanted to speak of, you put the cherry on top with that. Like, if Okada comes or if we get a match with him and Bryan Danielson, like, that would be great. But outside of that, I think we had a really strong week of wrestling. We had a really good pod. And we get ready for fucking SmackDown tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it, guys. I think that the name of this pod is Heel versus Heel. Heel versus Heel.
That's a great title, bro. That's a great title. That's a great title. So, like Chidi said at the beginning of the podcast, even though he had fucked up, you can check us out on Twitter, RW Podcast 1, Reasonable Wrestling, everywhere else, meaning Instagram, Facebook. You can search us on TikTok, Reasonable Wrestling. Check out Everything is Wrestling. You see it on the shirt right there, eiwshop.com. You can get a shirt. You can get a pack of fucking papers with my little lovely face on there. You know what I mean? You can just support the show with Patreon, too.
Yeah, thanks for supporting the content. Thanks for coming and commenting. Shout out to Rich.
Yeah,
shout out to Everything Pro Wrestling.
Conrad over there, Everything is Pro Wrestling. Yeah.
Yes. So, shout out to y'all for showing some love. We'll be back next week.
Oh, shout out to the Black Guy Wrestling Podcast. They shouted us out on Twitter.
Yeah, shout out
to the Smoke Control Podcast. They shouted us out on Twitter. You know what I mean? So, love to all the niggas that show love to us. You know what I mean?
For real, dead ass. Always love Everything's Wrestling. Peace out, guys.
Peace.